Okay, so I'm recording it as well. So I'll just give you a minute or two to sign up. So the email is sent to everyone there, so just check it and log on to it. I'm recording as well. Excuse me. So you logged on? Okay, we logged on. And here we are. Okay. So we are recording. Yep. No, everyone sees that? Yeah? Sees me moving the mouse? Yes? Okay. Right, so we'll start. So, static void exe guy, so I'm going to go this way. So, this is exit. Okay, so we're going to create a set of animals. Okay, we're going to create a hash set of animals. So hash set animal hash is equal to new hash set. Now, we've seen the way with strings, with integers, with string builders, with all the classes that come prepackaged with Java, okay, they all have a hash code. Okay, they all have a hash code method. Now, what's hash code? That is a method in the object class that tries to produce a unique number for every object. Okay, now it is int hash code, and it takes an object obj. Okay, now you can use a hash code inside equals. All right, now how you produce the hash code is up to you. All right, a simple hash code would be if you have a static counter. As each object is created, the counter increments by 1. So that'd be the simplest hash code there is. All right. Now, what's not good about that sort of hash code is that it's easy guess. If your numbering started at 1, you know that all the IDs for all of the objects go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, hash code. Its primary usage that we're going to use it for. It's what determines in a hash set if two objects are the same. Okay, so we'll do the example of numbers. Right, numbers. So we can see here we have 4, 4, and 99. Okay. Now, there is a hash code inside. There's a hash code method inside the integer class. Actually, it's inside the number class, but we'll say it's inside the integer class. Okay. So there's a hash code method inside the integer class, and all it does is it compares. So when you try to add something to a set, okay, when you try to add something to a set, what it does, it gets the hash code of what you're trying to add to the hash set, and then it's going to check the hash set for that hash code. All right, I'll explain that again. Okay, so I'll do it with pt7 orange ppl. Okay, so we're trying to add those numbers to a hash set called str hash. Okay, so there's nothing in to start off with. So we'll say that the hashes for each one of these, let's say apple produces, the hash code method produces the number 12. Orange, the hash code method produces the number 22. Apple, as we've already seen, produces the hash code 12. Okay, so when you're storing, so we're trying to add apple, it checks to see, is there a string inside the hash map that already has the hash code of 12? There isn't, so it adds apple. Okay, next one, orange. It checks the hash map to see, is there a string whose hash code is 22 already inside the hash map? There isn't, so it adds orange. Next thing, it attempts to add apple, but before it does that, it checks the hash map to see, is there a string inside the hash map that has a hash code of 12? Yes, there is, so it's not going to be input. So the second apple will not be put input. So what determines whether an object is added to a hash map or a set is the hash code. Okay? Yes. No, they're not the same. So the string class's hash code, okay, they're the same. If they have the same spelling and the same case, then they're returned the same. Similar integers, if they're the same numbers, they're going to return the same hash code. The hash code is going to be the number. All right. Now, the hash code that's returned by a string class is smart enough to know that so it can be used as well to organize, but we're not doing organizing yet. Okay, so string class has a hash code method. All of the numeric classes have a hash code method. Okay, string builder has a hash code method. If you have two string builders and they're the same text inside the string builder, that also returns the same hash code. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do from that, I am going to create, I've created a hash set of animals. Now I'm going to look in the animal class. Now, what do we notice about the animal class? What does it not have? It doesn't have a hash code method. Okay, it doesn't have a hash code method. So where does it? But it doesn't have a hash code method inside it, but it's getting a hash code method from somewhere. Where is it getting the hash code method from? It's getting it from the object class. Okay, so animal uses the hash code from the animal class. Okay, so I'm going to put that in here. So I'm going to go here. So hash set uses equals, or sorry, uses hash code methods to determine if two objects are the same or equal. Hash set does not allow us to add two objects that return, does not allow two objects that have the same hash code. Now, animal does not override the hash code method, so it will use the hash code method implementation from the object class. Okay, objects that are, so the same objects have the same hash code. Okay, so you have two references to one object. Okay, so the same objects have the same hash code. However, a copy of the object has a different hash code if you are using the object class hash code method. Right, so I'm going to create two. So with the animal class, the constructor in the animal class takes an int and a string. So I'm going to create two animals that are going to have the same age and the same name. So I'm going to go here. So I'm going to say animal added. So I'm going to go plus. It is animal hash dot add. I'm going to say new animal. So it's going to be one and a. Next one, animal added, animal hash dot add, new animal one and end. So I'm going to, that's ex8. So I'm going to go to examples ex8. Okay, so we can see both animals are added. Okay, they've got the same age and the same name. However, we haven't overridden the hash code method. Okay, so what's happening here? These two animals. Now, believe it or not, that's the way you might want it. Okay, you might want, if you have two animals that have the same age and name, if you want to have all your animals, then that hash code is fine. Okay, now your hash code is supposed to be based on all of the variables. So believe it or not, your hash code also works perfectly with your equals method. It should work with your equals method. That's why when we're going to be overriding the hash code method, we're also going to be overriding the equals method at the same time. Is that okay? If they have the same hash code, they should be equals to each other. Do we understand that? So if two animals produce the same hash code, they should also be true when you use the equals method with them. So the first animal here and the second animal, if they had the same hash code, if I said nd, so the first animal is nd dot equals their second animal, that should return true. All right. So if they have the same hash code, the equals method should also be returning true. Yes? Is that okay? There's two. So if you base your hash code on the age and the name, then you should also base your equals method on the age and the name. The two of them should match. That's why they always say you always should override your hash code with your equals. But for sets, the only one you absolutely positively have to override is the hash code. But we're always going to be overriding both of them. Is that okay, everyone? So these two animals have the same age and name, but equals and hash code method are not overridden. So it will use the hash code method from the object class. Now it will also use the equals method from the object class and will return true if they are the same object. The hash code method produces same hash, which is a number, if both objects are the same object. All right, so this will be added. Will be added. This will also be added. Why? Because all we're asking that if they're the same object, they won't be added. Okay, if they're the same object, they won't be added. So what do I mean by that? So if I create an animal down here, animal Andy is equal to new animal, and then I say animal Angela is equal to new animal, or is equal to Andy. Okay, so Andy and Angela are the same animal. Here, Andy and Angela are the same animal. Okay, Andy and Angela are the same animal. So first of all, I will add animal edit. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say animal hash dot add Andy. So this will be added. Next one, animal edit plus animal hash dot add Angela. This will not be added. There we are. Okay, so if you're just relying on the hash code of the object class, it won't add the same object twice. All right, which is in the majority of cases is going to be fine. All right, which in the majority of cases is going to be fine. All right, now, so if you want to determine yourself what is and is not going to be added, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the rat class, please. So I am going to override the hashcode method. Now I'm not going to get Eclipse to do it for us because I want to do a particular hashcode. All right. So now this isn't the correct way to do a hashcode, by the way. This is just, it's going to produce a very simple number. Now, you would never use this as a hashcode in real life because you could easily end up with the wrong number. Or wait, you could easily end up with a number that you don't want to end up with. All right, so I'm going to go at override. And it's public int hashcode. Now, we're going to base the hashcode on the age. All right, and it's going to be quite simply return age multiplied by a number. Okay, so if two rats have the same age, okay, I'll put in here, if two rats have the same age, they will have the same hash code number. So two rats of the same age will not be added to the set. Okay, so I don't have the equals method overridden yet, but I do have the hash code method overridden. Okay, trying to make sure that I've done this right. All right, so I'm going to go back here to examples, and I'm going to create two rats. So there's two rats with the same age. Well, so they're different rats. They're going to have different names. So rat Ronnie is equal to new rat. He's going to be an age of 4, and he's going to be called Ronnie. So I need to import rat. Right. I'm going to create another rat. Rat Rachel is equal to new rat. Has the same age with a different name. Now, so I'm going to try and add Ronnie, and then I'm going to try and add Rachel to the animal hash method. Okay. Now, it's going to take the hash code from the rat class. It's not going to take the hash code from the animal class. If it was taking the hash code from the animal class, it wouldn't add them if they're the same rat. It would add them if they have the same age. Okay? Sure that thing is right. Yeah, just give me a second. Something not done here. Just give me 2 seconds. Just check something here that I haven't done outright. You take a break for 5 minutes because I've done something wrong here. Okay, just take a break for 5 minutes. I'll keep the share on. All right. Oh shit. 2 minutes each. Something really wrong here. Yeah, sorry, that's grand. I don't know what I was talking about there. Yeah, sorry about that. That was just a brief technical hitch. Of course, you can see everything I'm doing here now. But c'est la vie. The meeting will end in 10 minutes. Fuck it. I might as well start a new one. No, I'll wait. Run back. Facing there. Facing the back, isn't it? Might just start a new one, lads, because the old one is starting to is going to finish. So I'll start another meeting. So pain in the arse that I have to do this, but sure. What the hell? Huh? Good one, Cathay. I think I ended for all though. Okay, so I will just go zoom again. So the other meeting should be ended. All right, so there's a new one. And share. So same thing again. I go invite. I go Gmail. And I type them out one by one because that way I won't miss anyone. Iggy, Andrew, and Thomas. Okay, so I'm going to send this. So that's Roland, Jason, Kathy, Kieran, Iggy, Ovison. And right. So another invite sent to you. Yeah, you should have it there now. So, now, I'll try and get the YouTube channel. For some reason or other, it wasn't broadcast on my screen. You can get at that? You can get the email. All right. Believe it or not, that actually could be true. There's kind of a hill down there, you say. It's a bit higher back there, you say. So you should have got that by now. It's just about the YouTube channel was so much handier. All right. So we have 6 participants. So I'm still recording here normally. Okay. So everyone there now? Yeah. Yeah, everyone's in now. Right. Now, so I left something out. Right? Hash set uses 2 things. It uses hash code. Yeah. What's it say? Make sure it's the new one that I sent you, Kieran. So the yeah, hold on. So hold on. The password is 025911. Now, when you're copying and pasting, sometimes it can copy a space in front of it. So type it in. O 025911. So let you. Yeah, yeah. It's just sometimes when you copy it in, it copies in a space. Right. So yeah, I can see here, Kevin. Okay. Right now, hash set uses 2 things. Set uses 2 things. It uses the equals method and it uses the hash code. All right. Now the 2 of them have to match. What has to match is if it has the same hash code, right, and if the equals method returns true, then it won't be added to the hash set. Yes? Does everyone understand that? So if the equals method returns true and the hash code method is the same, then it won't be added to the hash set. Okay, so the example here is new animal end. Okay, this animal and this animal are 2 different animals. It used the equals method from the animal class. So if you compare that animal to this animal, it's going to return false. Okay, also its hash code is going to be different. All right, for this one down here, animal Andy is equal to new animal. So we have animal Angela is equal to Andy. So if I go Andy dot equals Angela, that will return at the top true. Okay, so you've got the same hash code and equals returns true, it will not be added. Okay, that's why when you say you should override both the equals and the hash code at the same time. Okay, because if you want to add to a set, it depends on both of those things. It depends on the hash code and it depends on the equals. If you don't have one, it won't work the way you want it to work without the other. Okay. Now that's the thing, you see. If you have them different, then it's going to cause all sorts of shitty conflicts. Okay. Both of them. So hash code has to return the same hash code, and the equals method has to return true. So both of those things has to happen before something is refused entry into the set. Okay. Now, so that means whatever you base your hash code on, that's what you base your equals method on. All right. So if you're only doing the equals method on the age, then you only base it on the age. Okay. If you were basing it on the name and the age in your equals method, then you do the name and the age in the hash code. All right. Now, so I have the two of them overwritten here. Bring up my pen. But that's why you need both. Okay. So the reason you need both of them is for sets. That's why. Okay. So we said in Java 1, you need to override the two of them at the same time. This is why. Okay. Because you can't, yes, they will add to a set, but they won't add correctly. These two are all about denying certain things into a set. An object, two objects that have the same hash code and return true for equals will not be input into a set. Okay? So we're basing, now if they're the same rat, they're going to return true. Okay? Yes? You're with me so far, yeah? Right. Now, I've something missing here as well, by the way. I actually should be calling the superclass hash code, but I'm not going to get confusing. Right? So I'll just ignore that for a minute. All right? Now, this one here, I just create a number 41, and all the hash code is going to be its age multiplied by number. That should be there, sorry. Age multiplied by number. Now, why am I doing that? Usually when you're doing a hash code, you're going to have some number that's calculated by some mathematical process. All right? So rather than put in the number 41, you'd put in some mathematical sequence. You're using bit shifting and multiplication and to the power of and all that sort of shit. Okay? And what you usually do then is you multiply by number or some other mathematical function. All right? So you can substitute 41 some mathematical function. Okay? So, yes. Okay? Now, so it's got its own hash code. It has its own equals method. All right? So, we have two rats of different names, but, so for a start anyway, they're different names, but they're the same age. So we just want to check if they're the same age, are they going to be the same? Are they going, is our equals method going to return true? So I'm going to say two rats, same age. I'm going to go here, Ronnie dot equals Rachel. Okay, so they're the same age. So it returns true, and they both have the same hash code. To prove that they both have the same hash code, I'm going to go here. So Ronnie dot hash code and Rachel dot hash code. 164. All right. So they both have the same hash code. They return true when they're compared to each other. All right. So that means you can't add two rats of the same age to this set. Okay. Because why? Both rats have same hash code, which is produced from the age. Okay, that's if you want to do that. Okay, what I'm saying is there's no right or wrong way. You might want to don't have two dogs with the same name, or you might want all unique dogs in it. If you want all unique dogs in it, then guess what? You don't need to override the hash code and the equals method. If you want to differentiate dogs, right, if you want to have its own hash code and its own equals method, okay? So two dogs with the same name, same age, you want them in there, okay? Simple way around that is to have a unique ID for every dog, and it differentiates then by the ID of the dog. That's the whole idea of hash sets. Think about that. IM. Okay, right. So both rats have the same hash code. Okay. Yep. Yep. And the hash code would say they're different hash codes. And it would still add them. It would add them. It would add them then. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. So it's only when they're both equal and they both have the same hash code. They're not added. It's like a double check. Okay. Yeah. So if two rats have the same hash code and return true when used against each other with the equals method, then they will not be added to the set. Okay, they will not be added to the set. So just to prove that that's the case, so Ronnie.hashcode is a hash code of 164. Now hash is just a number, all right? Hash of 164, hash of 164. So Ronnie will be added. Rachel will not be added. Okay, nice. So it all depends on the equals and the hash code method. That's what determines if something is added to a hash set. All right. To prove that that's the case, I am just going to comment out the equals method. Now I'll change this here. So this is Ronnie the rat added. Ronnie the rat added is added. This is Rachel the rat added. So at this moment in time, Ronnie is added, Rachel isn't, because Rachel is the same age of 4. Okay, now if I comment out, let's say, the equals method, we can see that both rats are now added. Okay, I comment out the equals method, we now see that both rats are added. Okay, if I come along and I take out the hash code method, because what happens then is it uses the hash code method from the object, okay? And they're not the same object, okay? So it's always going to return false or true, okay? So we can see the equals. Now, look at, they have a different hash code. See that? They have a different hash code. But the equals method, you have to override both of them, okay? You have to override both of them, okay? Don't override one and not the other. If you don't, it's taking the hash code from its object class, okay? And when they're different objects, they're going to have a different hash code. So for the different hash code, as you can see here, see it? They got a different hash code. They've got a different hash code. They're going to be added to the hash set. The only way it won't be added to a hash set is if the equals returns true and the hash code is the same. Okay? That's why you should always base the hash code on what you have in your equals method. The two of them should match each other. If your hash code is produced on the age, well, then you only have age in your equals method. If the hash code is produced from your age and your name, then you have a hash code produced on the age and name in the hash code. Okay? It's a double lock. It's only a very specific set of circumstances that an animal won't be added. It's if this guy returns true. So if this returns true, true, and the hash code is the same for both rats, then both rats will not be added. So take that guy out. So the easiest way to make sure that things work the way you think they should work is if you're going to override the equals method, you need to override the hash code method. Similarly, if you're overriding the hash code method, make sure you override the equals method. That's why when you go here in Eclipse, and you go to source, generate hash code and equals. Okay? So you always put the two of them together. Why do you put the two of them together? For sets. Well, that's why. Okay? Couldn't explain that now during Java 1. I just probably said that you have to do it for a reason that will be explained in the future. Well, here it is. Okay? So it's the equals method and the hash code that determines if something's going to be added to a list. Okay? So this is a set of animals. Now, you could also have a set. Now, so animal hash dot add Ronnie will not be added. Uh, animal hash dot add Rachel will also not be added, or will not be added. Yes? Does everyone okay with that? So they both are the same age. And I've said in the rat class that if they have the same age, I'm going to say it's going to return true. If they're the same age, they're going to have the same hash code because all I'm doing is multiplying the age by 4 by 41. 41 multiplied by 4 is 164. Yeah? Okay, so Ronnie will be at it, Rachel won't be at it. Okay, now it doesn't matter whether it's a set of rats or a set of animals, it's the same result because it's taken the hash code from, so the animal class, so this is a set of animals, it's going to use the hash code and the equals method from the rat class. Similarly, if you have a set of rats, So I go hash set rat. I go rat set is equal to new hash set. Now I'm going to try and add Rachel first. So Rachel added to rat set. I'm going to say rat set dot add. I'm going to go Rachel, and then I'm going to attempt to add Ronnie. Okay, so we can see here they both are the same age. Both rats are the same age. Okay, so Rachel will be added. This guy will not be added. So it doesn't matter whether it's a set of animals or a set of rats. Okay, it's going to use the hash code method from. So if you can't find a hash code and equals method in the rat class, it's going to look for a hash code and an equals method in the animal class. If you can't find a hash code and an equals method in the animal class, it'll go up to the object class. Okay, so it'll check its own class first, then it checks the superclass. If it's not a superclass, then it'll check the object class. Then it'll use the object class hash code and equals method. But it has to use both. All right, not just one, both. And if it's true and they have the same hash code, they're not added to the set. That's the only circumstance. It's like a double lock. It's a double check. All right. Yeah, if it's the same object. That's it. And the hash code is produced. Yep. If you use an object class, yeah. Oh, but you can cast a superclass to be a subclass, not the other way around. Right, so if you have an object reference to a rat object, yeah, you can cast that guy to be a rat. Yeah. So it's a rat reference into a rat object. Yeah. Okay. Now, so now I've done the same with hamster. So in future, to be able to see it yourself, if you remove the hash code method and you just have the equals method in here, both rats will be added. Okay. So I'll put in here, if you override only equals or only hash code, then both of the above rats will be added to the sets as if I don't override one either equals or hash code, it will then use the non overridden method from the object class. Okay, so if you don't override one of them, what's it going to do? It's going to get the hash code from the object class. Okay, and it'll return different hash codes. It'll only return the two same hash codes if it's the same object. Similar for equals, it'll only return true if they're the same object. Okay, so as if I don't override equals or hash code, it will then use the non-overridden method from the object class. Okay, so return which return true or equals if and only if same object, and returns same hash code if and only if they are the same object. Now, so we're getting more complicated each time. So we're going to go to the dog class. Now, I am going to go make sure I have the same one here. Right. So, all I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of this. All right. Now, make sure you're clicked into the dog class. Now, also, let's see to do this here. Right, I'm going to take out the ID. I don't know if you have ID in it. I'm going to take it out for now. So I'm going to take out those two. I don't want them in it for now. Right, so I've only got name and age. Okay, now I'm going to go to source, generate hash code and equals. So I'm going to let Eclipse do it for me. Okay, I'm going to go generate. That's fine. Okay. You can do that, Kathy, as well. Okay. We won't do that quite yet. All right. We won't do that quite yet. Now, so this produces a hash code from the age and the name. Okay. So result is equal to prime multiplied by result plus age. See the way there's some sort of mathematical calculation to get a hash code. Then result is equal to result multiplied by result, whatever was the previous line, plus. If the name is null, it's going to be multiplied by 0. Otherwise, it's going to use name.hashcode. Now, name.hashcode, name is a string, so that's the hash code of the string class. Okay, that's the hash code of the string class that's been produced there. So if the name is null, it's going to add 0 onto 31 multiplied by whatever is produced on that line, plus 0 if the name is null. If it's not null, it's going to add whatever hash code is produced from the name I give to my dog. Okay. Then we have an equals method that is based on the same variables as the hash code. Well, for a start, we always say if this, so if the object that's calling this method is the same as the object that sent this method, it's going to return true. Okay, so if it's the same object. If the object that sent this method is not a dog, then it's going to return false. Okay, so if it's not a dog, so if it's not a dog, geez, that's an awful hard thing to say. So if it's not a dog, we know it is a dog. So if it's not a dog, okay, so if it's not a dog, return false. So if it's not a dog, it means, so if it's not a dog, it means it is a dog. So we know by this line, it is a dog. So we have to do all of this before we can cast the object that was sent to it to be another dog. Okay? So we have dog other is equal to, we cast the object that was sent to it to be a dog. So if we know both of the object that's calling it is a dog, the object that's sent to it is a dog. Then we compare the ages. So if age of the dog is calling the method is not the same as the dog that was sent to the method, oh, piss off. If the age of the dog that is calling the method is not the same as the dog that was sent to the method, return false. If the name is null, and if the other name is not null, return false. So this does take into account if two names are null. Okay. Else if the name of this dog is not the same as the name of the other dog, return false. If it passes all those things, then it has to be true. All right. But you can see that it's based on the age and the name. Does everyone see that? It's based on the age and the name. So that's why, so the hash code is produced from the age and the name. It's not plucked out of thin air. So you always override the two of them at the same time. And you always base them on each other. If you're producing a hash code from only the age, well then you only check for the age in the equals method. If you create a hash code from only the name, then you're only checking for the name in the object or in the equals method. Here, however, we're checking both age and name in the hash code, which means we have to always base our equals on age and name. Okay? Everyone with me so far, yes? So, if two dogs have the same hash code and return true for this equals, they will not be added to the hash set. Yes? Everyone with me so far, yeah? So, the circumstances that two dogs won't be added to the same hash set. So, if we have dog spot is equal to new dog, and we have dog rex is equal to spot. They'll produce the same hash code because it's the same dog. If they produce the same hash code, they're always going to be equals. Rex dot equals spot is going to be true. So you can't add rex and spot because they're both the same dog. Yes? Okay. Next one. So dog spot is equal to new dog. Now I'm going to give the dog a age of 1, and I'm going to call him dog 1, so it won't be so confusing. Dog 1. Okay, it's equal to new dog. He's an age of 1, and it's called spot. Dog 2 is equal to new dog. He's got an age of 1, and he's going to name a spot. Same case and everything. Now, the hash code is produced on the age and the name. So if they're the same age and it's the same name, they're going to produce the same hash code. Equals. If they're both dogs and they both have the same age and name, it's going to return true. Okay? So if you have two dogs with the same age and name, they will not be added to the same set. Okay? Yep.
If they're the same number and the same name,
Same age and same name, yeah?
Yeah. They're not, they won't be the same.
Nope.
Okay, that's fair enough. I just thought you were
No, sorry. If they have the same age and same name, they will be the same. That's the way I have it written here. Okay? Because if they don't have the same age, return false. If they don't have the same name, yeah,
return true.
yeah.
But that return false, won't it? Because they're
No, because
because they're too new, so they're too
so if this is equal to OBJ, right? They're two different objects, two different dogs. So that will it return true? No, it doesn't. So it goes down to the next line. It doesn't return anything. Yeah. And so if the object sent to it is not a dog, return false. Okay, it is. So that means we know it's a dog. If they're not the same age, return false. They are the same age. Yeah. So if the name is null, if the other name is not null, return false. So if both of them are null, it will return true. Else if the name is not the same as the other name, return false. Now, if they're not the same name, so this one here, it's a if they're not the same name, return false. They are the same name, returns true. Okay? So that means two dogs with the same age and name will not be added to the same set. So to prove that's the case. How are you doing, Ivan? Jesus, the whole box. Christian, I say. Was it for that joke? I just what's a new printer?
No, it's free. No, yeah, we weren't going to church. He brought his presents. Sure, no, I'm a feeling great.
What's a new printer? Thanks, Ivan. Right, so we got a printer working. I won't be able to install it because I don't have admin rights or any sort of that sort of shit. No, you have to have network settings and so wait till someone else comes in to set it up. Okay, now, so I'm going to create two dogs. Well, I'm create one dog first. Dog Lassie is equal to new dog. And dog Prince is equal to Lassie. So Lassie and Prince are the same dog. Okay, so and just say here as well. So equals and hash code are both overridden in the dog class. And equals returns true if they have same name and age. If they have same age and name, then they will have same hash code. Okay, so only one of these. So this is the same dog. Okay, because Lassie and Prince are the same dog. We won't allow you to have the same dog. Okay, so only Lassie or Prince will be added as both references of the same dog. Okay, so only Lassie or Prince will be added. So only one of them. Well, I might add Prince. Yeah, but remember, someone could come along and put in Prince instead of Lassie. Now it doesn't make a difference because they're both the same fucking dog anyway. You know what I mean? So only one dog will be added as both references to the same dog. So I'm going to create a hash set. Dog. I'm going to call it kennel is equal to new hash set. Now, or for fuck's sake. Sorry, that's on the video now, isn't it? So, isn't it? Sorry. Uh, so just me going. Okay, so I will zoom. If I log in, alright, so I haven't logged in. Fine. Up level your meetings. I think I can get a monthly one for €13. So I'll ask them how to. So here we go again. One good thing, it doesn't take too long to set it up again. That's one good thing about it. Right, so share. So I need to invite Gmail. I need to put down your names one by one because that helps me. Kathy, Kieran, Beeson, Iggy, Andrew, Thomas, and that's it. Okay, that's everyone now. I do. Roland, Jason, Kathy, Kieran, Beeson, Iggy, Andrew, and Thomas. Okay, it's not so bad actually having to do that. So now YouTube channel was all working fine with sound, but there was no vision, so I had to figure out why he was doing that this morning. So you could hear me, but you couldn't see the actual screen. So because a YouTube channel would be a lot handier, and you broadcast live then. So have you got it yet? No. Balls. Okay. Now, so we have 6, 7, 8, 9. We're all here. Ooh. And away we go again. So now, new hash set. Now you can, again in here, do arrays as list and do a list of dogs if you want to do this. You can do this as well. Arrays as, oh fuck me, don't want that. So you can do that. Now, remember if you do that though, you can't add or take away to that hash set. Do you remember that? I am Iggy. Well done, lads. Both you combined well there together. Fair dues to you. Now, you can create a hash set from a list from an array. All right. Problem with that is that you can't add or take away from this hash set. Does everyone understand that? Yeah. So we're just going to create a set of dogs. Okay. So first dog we're going to try and add to it is Lassie. Then I'm going to try and add Prince. Then I'm going to try and add a new dog with no variables. Then I'm going to try and add a new dog with a variable of spot and 2. Then I'm going to try and add a new dog, the variables of Rex and 4. I'm going to try and put in another new dog, spot 2. And I'm going to try and put in another new dog. All right. How many dogs is going to be in our hash set? How many? Right. So we have Lassie. So the ones that wouldn't go in. So Lassie will go in. Prince won't. Dog will. Yeah. New dog 2 will go in. Okay. Rex will go in. Now, new dog spot 2 won't go in. Second new dog won't go in because that's the exact same as this guy up here. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. No, because, right, remember that it'll return equals if they have the same age and name. Okay, this dog here has a name of null and has an age of 0. This one here has a name of null and an age of 0. Okay, so put in here. Yeah, add it to set, not add it to set, as Prince is the same dog as Lassie. Okay, this one, add it to set. This is add it to set. I'll number them as well. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this one here, this is 5, add it to set. Now, this is 6, not add it as this dog with the same name and age already exists. It's dog 4. Okay, this one here, not, this is 7, not added as this dog with same name and age already exists, which is dog 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see now why set is kind of important, or a size, right? You could have an equals method that is based on a very, very complicated algorithm, right? and you may not know what objects are added to your set. The only way you can find out how many objects are added to your set. Now it's easy with these guys, but if you have a really complex object, you're going to have a complex equals method. You mightn't even fully understand the equals method. Actually, in fact, you most definitely won't understand the equals method. You won't even understand the hash code method. All right, so you're not going to be 100% sure what objects are going to be added and what is and is not going to be added. All right, so here again, so amount of dogs added to set is, we go kennel dot size, and we should get 3. Hold on. Right. So I have Prince is not added. Rex. Huh? There will be. Hold on now. Let's just see. So, new dog will be added. Okay. New dog Spot will be added. New dog Rex will be added. So how could be only 3? Something funny there. Prince dog is. New dog Spot is. Oh yes, it is. Yes, Andrew. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Fudge. Shit. You're right, Andrew. All right. So. Oh yeah, yeah. See. So Prince isn't added. New dog isn't added. Spot is added. Rex is added. Spot isn't added. New dog isn't added because Lassie is a dog with no parameters. Lassie is a dog with an age of, yeah, yeah, yeah. So sorry. So this is wrong. Yeah. So Lassie's added to set. This guy is 3, not added. Same name and age as dog 1. This one here, not added. I'll change that. As dog, same age and name as dog 4. And this one here, not added. As same age and name as dog 1. Okay, so 3 dogs that are added to that list. Okay, now, yep, so Prince, not added. Dog, new dog, not added. Spot 2 is added. Rex 4 is added. Spot 2 is not added because it's already there. New dog is not added. Why? Because it's the same name and age as Lassie. Okay, is that right? All right, now. Right, so I am going to do a slightly more complicated one. All right, so this is going to be the dinosaur class. Now we're just going to have time to do the hash code for the dinosaur and the equals method for the dinosaur. So dinosaur is, where is it? Source, Android, dinosaur. Okay, so I'll go to my dinosaurs here. Now, so we're going to go int age, string name, double weight, double height, boolean carnivore. Now I could have made, actually I'll change that. I'm going to say enum type. I'm going to say carnivore, herbivore. How would you spell it? H-E-R-B, herbivore, omnivore. So meat, vegetables, anything. Okay, so they're the three different types. So then we're going to have type, and this should be capital T. So I'm going to type, I'm going to say what a type, and I'm going to create a empty constructor. And I'm also going to create a constructor that takes every single one of them. So I'm just going to do it. So generate constructor using fields, age, name, weight, height, and type. Generate. Okay, so that's fine. Now, I am going to create a hash code and an equals from all of these variables. Okay, I'm going to create a equals and a hash code from all these variables. I'm going to let Eclipse do it for me. So I'm going to go to source, generate hash code and equals. Now we can choose which one of these we want. If we only want to base it on age, we just click on age. If we want to base it on age, height, and name, we base it on age, height, name, and disregard type and weight. Okay, but I'm going to use them all. Okay, I'm going to use them all. I'm going to generate. So it produces. Now, the general rule is the more variables you have, the more difficult is your hash code is going to be to guess. Okay. Now, a hash code is all about giving a unique number to your object, right? It's all about giving a unique number to your object. So the way we have the equal set up is that if it has all the same variables, if it has all the same variables, we're going to say it returns true. Now we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. All right. We could just say we could use the equals method from the object class. So as long as they're different objects, we're going to add them to our list if we want to do that. Okay. So what I'm trying to get across to you here is there's no right, there's no wrong way really to do an equals or a hash code. Now you do have to base them. So if you're going to be dealing with age, name, type, and weight, what am I here? So weight and height. Okay, so if you're going to be using age, height, weight, name, type, okay, if you're using all of those 5 variables in a, sorry, 6 variables, using all of those 6 variables in your hash code, you have to use all of those 6 variables in your equals method. Now, if you don't, you're going to get a mismatch. All right, one should be based on the other. If one isn't based on the other, yes, it will compile, but it's not going to produce what you want. You could have one of them producing true and this producing different hash codes. Okay, so you make sure that they're both based on each other. And with that, we are going to finish today. Jesus Christ, that was tough. I'm so stuffed after that. So I'm going to quit that, end that meeting, end meeting for all. I'm going to try and get that YouTube channel working tomorrow. It's up and running, but I can't seem to broadcast my screen, so I'll try and get that done for tomorrow so I don't have to bother with this Zoom shit anymore. So I will export that code. So finish. All right. I'm going to go to this guy. Stop it.